All right, let's talk about one of the most argued over transformations in all of modern Dragon Ball, Vegeta's Ultra Ego. We're going to go way beyond the surface level complaints today and really dig into what this form means for the Saiyan Prince. Because, its biggest weakness might just be its greatest strength when it comes to telling his story.
So let's just get it out of the way, right off the bat. The big question, the elephant in the room for the fan community, is whether Ultra Ego is even a good power-up at all. Is it a legitimate step forward, or is it just fundamentally broken from the get-go?
And you can totally see where people are coming from. The whole idea that you have to take damage to get stronger, that sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? A lot of fans kind of see it as this self-defeating meme. Just another cool-looking form designed to let Vegeta take a big L. A flashy gimmick, but not really practical. But is that really the whole story? Let's break it down.
Okay, so first things first, let's tackle that main criticism head-on. Is this power actually designed to fail? Well, the paradox is pretty obvious. A power that gets stronger from taking hits is naturally just not sustainable. The damage has to catch up with you eventually. And we saw that play out, clear as day, in his fight against Granola. Yeah, he hit some incredible new levels of power, but in the end, his body just gave out. He couldn't take any more punishment. But here's the thing. To really get Ultra Ego, you have to look at where it came from. This wasn't some random power-up he pulled out of nowhere. No, this was the direct result of some very specific and seriously intense training with a god of destruction. And if you look at his journey, it was a long time coming. He tried Ultra Instinct, realized pretty quick it wasn't for him, and then made a very deliberate choice to follow Beerus's path instead. But the real turning point, the moment that changes everything, is when Beerus basically forces Vegeta to confront his own guilt about the Saiyan race and all the terrible things they did. That single moment becomes the foundation for everything that comes next.
And this line from Beerus, this is the key to the whole thing. He flat out says his limitless power doesn't come from getting punched in the face. It comes from his mindset. It's a complete, singular focus on destruction with zero guilt, zero hesitation. That's the real lesson he's trying to teach Vegeta.
So the philosophy of a god of destruction isn't about tanking hits. It's about a state of mind. It's about shedding all that baggage from the past, like, say, the sins of an entire race, so you can unleash pure, unfiltered power. The power isn't from the damage. The power is destruction itself.
Now, this is where it all starts to click into place. Because to really understand Vegeta's flawed form, you have to look at Goku's own struggles with a divine technique. This comparison is everything. Remember when Goku first used Ultra Instinct Sign? It wasn't perfect. It was a flawed, incomplete, mortal attempt at an angel's power. It was unstable, inconsistent, and it totally shredded his stamina. Well, Vegeta's Ultra Ego is the exact same thing, just for a god of destruction's power. Relying on taking damage isn't the real technique. It's the flawed, mortal crutch he's using to even access it.
So let's be super clear here. The problem isn't that Ultra Ego is a bad technique. The problem is that we are watching a mortal try to figure out the very first, very messy steps of using a divine power. His Saiyan biology, which is all about getting stronger through fighting and pain, is basically misinterpreting destruction through the only lens it understands. Taking a beating. And that, right there, leads us to the most brilliant part of all of this. The mechanics of the form are a perfect mirror for what's going on inside Vegeta's head. Just look at the contrast here. In the Moro arc, Vegeta is all about atonement. He feels guilty for what his people did to the Namekians. But then, in the Granola arc, he's actively trying to be this cold, ruthless destroyer that Beerus told him to be. He's literally forcing himself into a mindset that goes against years of his own character development. But he just can't do it. Not fully. Right in the middle of the Granola fight, he basically admits it. His humanity, his compassion, the person he's become, it keeps getting in the way. There's a part of him that still feels responsible for the Saiyan's sins, and that guilt is the one thing Beerus told him he had to get rid of. And that's the absolute genius of it. The form is literally self-destructive because the guy using it is at war with himself. Every punch he takes isn't just powering him up, it's fueling this internal tug-of-war between the man he used to be and the hero he is now. It's not a flaw in the power, it's perfect storytelling. So what does all this mean? It means what we've seen isn't the final version. It's not a failure, it's just step one of a much, much longer journey. Right now, he's using pain as a catalyst, as that crutch to spark his destructive spirit. But that's not the goal. The real goal, the future mastery of this form, is to learn how to channel that destructive power directly, to become destruction itself, without needing to get beaten to a pulp to do it. Just think back to Goku again. He didn't just stick with that flawed, stamina-draining version of Ultra Instinct. He worked on it, he refined it, he mastered it, and he made it his own. Vegeta's journey with Ultra Ego is almost certainly going to be the same. This isn't the destination, it's just the beginning. Which leaves us with the one final question that defines his entire arc from here on out. To perfect this form, to truly become what Beerus is training him to be, he has to solve that internal conflict. So can he learn to embody the pure, focused power of a god of destruction without losing the very humanity he has fought so hard to build? That right there is his story.